All right. So, waiting for everything to come up here. Just making sure. There's that. And are we up here yet? Are we up on kick? Not quite yet. Hanging in there, hoping to be up on kick real quick. Come on, baby. See if we can. We're up on YouTube, it looks like. Oh, wait a minute, maybe not. There we go. Okay, we're live on YouTube. Just waiting to come up on kick here, guys. And it looks like we're live on kick. So, that's awesome. Here we go. Let's do this here. And do that there. And we can see everything. That's awesome. So, my name is Scotty, the Backyard Renegade, and we're going to talk over time about how I got that. Basically, I do things myself that I don't want to pay other people a lot of money to do. All of my projects are designed to be done by literally beginner to intermediate, craftsmen and carpenters or whatever. You don't have to have any carpentry skills, for instance, to build this boat here. If you can use a saw, hammer, a screwdriver, a drill, and a sander, and a paintbrush, you've got this boat down. You don't need to cut any intricate joinery or anything like that. Because we're building what's called a self-jigging boat. Don't want to get into that too much, but the point is, we're going to cut out all the parts, which we've already done, and you'll see me laying out here. And we cut out all the parts. Here's the bottom. There's the bottom of the boat right there. Get this out of the way. It was a scrap piece. I cut a template out of. But anyway, so here's the transom. And here's the two sides. Alright, so here we go. This boat is going to be built around that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stitch the two sides together. And I'm going to turn them over and stitch to the transom, turn it over. And then we'll stitch it to the bottom. And that'll shape the bottom and the sides. And then we're going to go in, we'll put the seats in. That'll shape the sides just the way we want them. And then we're just going to tape the whole thing together with fiberglass. We've been doing it a couple of days. And again, it's all just simple as that. Fiberglass, you need a paintbrush, you need a mask, some buckets and stirrers, and some epoxy and some fiberglass resin, a material. And you go from there. So I'm just going to start. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about stitch and tape for a quick second before I really get started. This is a project, like I said, you can do at home with your kids if you want to. And if you're going to do it with little kids, or kids, under their teens or whatever, I would use zip ties. If I do a kits and stuff, which is what I'm eventually going, we'll just use zip ties, okay? I find it easier to use copper wire, old school. But I'm going to get some punctures in my fingers doing this over time. So if you're going to do it with your friends and family or whatever, use zip ties. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay out some holes here for my drilling. We can do that right on here. The idea is just to stitch this boat together enough that, is this going? Come on. Is this going? Is this going? Are we live? No, we're not live. The stream ended already? Oh, come on. What is going on here? Is it really ended? It's live there. It's not making it on YouTube for some reason. Okay. Earlier tonight I had it. Yeah, it says. So view on YouTube. This is so ridiculous. Come on. I just want to stream this. I really just want to stream it. You know, okay, well, I guess it's kind of back here. I'm going to turn on the sound at the risk of... This is so ridiculous. Okay, well, it's just cutting in and out, I guess. It's just cutting in and out. Let me see if it's going to work. I'm just going to go ahead and do the work, and, you know, hopefully, if you're watching me on YouTube, it's cutting out. I'm over on Kick at Backyard Renegade right now, too. And we're stitching together this fall. So... You know, eventually I'm just going to have to do this build. Are we still here? Okay, well, it looks like we're still streaming. And I'm behind the thing. All right. I guess I'm just going to have to try this. This is so crazy. So crazy. I've been trying to stream this, you know, 24. It takes me about 24 man hours to build one of these boats. I've been trying to stream it for over a month and a half. It's just absolutely impossible. I don't know what exactly all the issues are, but can't seem to get anything. Accomplished. As far as getting the stream to work, it's every day it's something different. One of the platforms doesn't work, the GoPro doesn't work, the sound doesn't work, cuts in and out all day today. I wanted to start streaming this at around, I was trying to stream it around 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's well after 5 or 6 now. And recently, I had a T-square in my hand. Now I can't seem to locate it either. It's just not my day. All right. so I'm just going to have to use a ruler here. What is going on? Why can't I find my T-square? I've got a 4-foot T-square that has just disappeared on me. It's big, it's 4 feet. It must have fallen down somewhere. It was eluding me. So anyways, we're finally going to try to get to this. What we're going to do is we're going to drill holes down the front here. The idea is to use as many stitches as it takes to hold the shape of the boat together until you get the fiberglass put on it. So just for the heck of it, because you kind of should, I'm going to mark probably every 3 inches. So we'll put one up near the top here. Now again, these zip ties and the in my case, the wire that I use, if I got heavy enough wire, I may have to use zip ties tonight and reorder something a little thicker. But the zip ties I got, sorry. I lost my thought process. So I'm just marking off every 3 inches. Here, right? And then we'll just do a quick would probably an easier way to do this. And then we want to go all the way down the side. Nail over a little bit. Whatever, I'm going to so I'm going to just draw a line down here. I don't know if it's even if I could try to go ahead and let you folks see what I'm doing up close with this. It's tough here. It'll be in the instructions. Again, I'm just putting holes a 1/4 inch away from the edge at 3 inch intervals all the way down. That's where I'm going to stitch the hole together. So I just want to put them, I'm using my finger. Again, and this is like a scrappy thing. You don't need a ruler. I'm like 5/16 of an inch away with my line here, just using my finger and pencil. No, Raina. Back off. Back off. Good girl. All right. So anyways, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to put these little lines 3 inches. All the way down. And if I was doing if I wasn't going to paint this boat, I would just go ahead and mark it with a nail or something, or just drill it on the way down, actually, would be the way to do it, without putting pencil marks on it. But this wood looks nice, but it's really not. This is really cheap lumber. It's going to be needed sealed up and painted real well, and kept painted. And take a boat like this, I'm going to build it for about $150 probably altogether. And if I take care of it and paint it every year, take nice care of it, don't set it, don't leave it in the water, take it out between uses. Get 5, 6, 7 more years out of this thing. for $150. So, you know, it's a pretty good trade-off to use a cheap lumber. Now, if you spent $400 on the boat and used the Kume plywood, you get 10, 15, 20, you know, you could theoretically, you know, depending on how well you took care of it, and, you know, took it out of the water, like I say, every time we used it, you know, it would last like any other classic old wooden boat. But the Kume doesn't rot as easily. I've had a Kume plywood sit outside up to 10, 12 years without, and it didn't even rot until it got covered up. It was just an old blank I had made one time. I had a Kume, so I made a template, and it just shot around. So I'll get up in a minute and check and see if anybody has chatted here. Forgive me if I'm not paying attention. I have so much trouble, you know, just streaming with the equipment I have. I've talked about it. I mean, all my equipment, all my streaming equipment's at least 10 years old. Well, the camera's only like 5. But the laptop and everything else is just, in particular, the laptop. So it's not easy to stream anything and make everything work at the same time. You know, these streaming services want to see bit rates around 25, and my recommended is 2. And if I don't run that, I just keep blocking out the system. It just keeps dumping. That's what I was running into today. So anyways, again, I'm putting 3-inch lines down. So we'll go ahead and we'll drill. Check and see if anybody chatted. What do we got? No mod sled here. Nobody chatted here. Nobody chatted here, but it's still running. Let me see if the sound is coming through at all. This will probably give some feedback for a few minutes here, but let's just see what's going on. Okay, so I've got 2 mics on. No, I don't.
How about this? Is that working? All right, maybe that's working better. So this is going to be tough. Sorry, guys. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want me wearing the GoPro on my chest. I have COPD, and the breathing would be just insane. The breathing would just be insane. You wouldn't like that at all. Okay. No, that's wrong thing. That's what I want to try. Okay. All right, so that's better. Anyways, I went downstairs to grab drill bits. So we're going to go ahead and drill all the little holes out at 3-inch intervals down the front and the side so we can tack everything together. I'm just going to use a little bit. Now this is, I don't know, 3/16 maybe. Just enough to get your wire through. If you're using zip ties, go with 1/4 inch. You know, just make sure it's big enough for the zip tie to go through. And remember that it doesn't have to be really neat. It doesn't have to be really neat because you're going to grind off what's left anyway. We're just going to zip tie this thing together. We're going to turn it upright. We're going to fiberglass down the inside of the seams, right over the zip ties. They don't rot or anything, so they can stay right in there. Then when we flip the boat upside down again, we're just going to grind off what's left of the zip ties on the outside and then just put our tape on and we got ourselves a set. So make the holes big enough for the zip ties to go in comfortably and just be able to tighten them up a little bit and get them from there. I'll say this, and I'll say it a few times, if you're using zip ties, don't pull them all the way tight until they're all in place. So with this particular boat, the design is specifically so you make the sides. You make the sides here like this. And here, let me make the sides. And then the top is going to lay on it. And we're going to stitch that down and then tape it up and then grind the edges off. So anyway, let me look again and see if anybody is here or said anything. I don't expect it. I've had a month and a half of starts and stops and delays, at least with this whole project. So not expecting a whole lot of viewership on it, but I just want to get it done, and get this one. I promised I'd go ahead and stream it. We're going to do that, but then after that, I'm not going to stream anymore. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So again, like I said before, don't sub to me for sure. I recommend on Kick you sub to NPC Frank or. I don't know. Frank's a good guy. Night Cop 35. Look at Night Cop 35 or the NPC show. Those are guys that, are smaller but, make part of their income just by streaming. And so we want to go ahead and support them. With me, if you show people around and I get my boats and plans and stuff out there, eventually get my website going. If you go to smallboats.com, that's what I want out of this. Yeah, looks like I'm not even gonna fool around with these batteries, I don't think, because they're already, dead. Let's see what happens here. These are like 15, 18 years old. Well, we'll see if they work for a while. Smell like a doggy. These don't have to be perfect, you're going to grind them off later. Um, and I'm just going to mark a little bit with the pencil and my thumb. Again, you know, when you're doing a real classic scrappy like this, the exact measurements a lot of times aren't as important as making sure the boat is, you know, solid and the same on both sides and rounded and fair, nice and clean lines, and get what you get. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run my finger down the side like this and put a line like that far in on the edge of the plywood, right? Can you see that? Here, I'll come over here and show you. I'm just going to do this. Down the edge of the plywood, and, you know, I can adjust how far of a line, because it's really not an important measurement, to be honest, at this point. You just got to get it far enough in to get a good bite of the wood. Again, I'm just close enough, right? I know with the GoPro you can't see what I'm doing. That's one of the reasons I decided not to try to really stream these builds as much. You know, just get the business, and maybe someday when I get better equipment and better cameras and stuff, then we can talk about doing that, you know. But right now I just need to get it done, so I have my proof of concept, I get my plans settled in, and yeah, I'm pretty behind on that. It's really lagging. It just showed me now coming up to the camera. Again, these don't have to be perfect. I might be able to go 6 inches out. I'm actually going to go to 6 inches coming down here. Well, after these first 4, because there's a little bit of a shape in there. Now I'll just go to 6-inch intervals. You may find, you know, if the boat is nice and fair and the plywood's good, you may not even have to do all of those. But we'll drill the holes. On a nice fair hole like this, you might be able to go a foot between stitches. Again, just holding it in place until you get it taped up with the fiberglass tape and the epoxy. And of course, it's obvious to me, but I should mention that's 2 pieces of wood there. That's both sides of the bolt. They're tacked together temporarily with a couple of straight copper brads, and I'm drilling all the holes. Not necessarily. It just makes it easier when you're working down the 2 sides of the boat if the holes are matched up with each other. It's not totally important. Again, all you need is enough stitches to hold the shape together until you get it epoxied and glued up, but it is what it is. So, that's that. Then what we need to do is stitch the nose together. Yeah, and that's where that wire I bought comes in. Hopefully it's thick enough. I grabbed 18. I probably should have grabbed, 16. No, I grabbed 18. I probably should have grabbed 16. If it doesn't work, I'll have to use the, sorry, if it doesn't work, I'm going to have to use these zip ties, which I don't want to do because I waited a whole other day. Here we go. Here's my wire. And this is the fiberglass tape we're going to use eventually. You know, when you're taping a lot of these, they actually make holes for this, but I just use just a pair of snippers and some wire. So I got some 18 gauge wire here. I'm going to stitch the nose of this bolt together, these 2 pieces here. See? 2 pieces. And then I'll open them up like a book. And I'm just cutting little pieces of this wire and, again, just enough to hold it together. Back when I used to build, I had jigs for all of this, but I wish I had them. It would make things easier, but at the same time, I want to show you folks that you can build this all yourself with, simple tools. Just there we go. Now I'm going to take the little nails out that we're holding it. I just have the little nails holding them in place while we do this work here.
You know, I had really planned on doing so much better videos about building this boat, but the plans have such detailed instructions that you don't need it. And I apologize, so I just don't have the camera equipment to do it. This is about the best quality I can get. The only other thing I'll be strapping it to my chest, and I'm moving it up and down all the time, and you got to hear my COPD and breathing. And you just, it's horrible. I've had it when I've been fishing before, and go back and listen to the VODs, and it's just, you know, listen to me breathe the whole time. It is not attractive. It's not good audio. Let's face it, you're not going to watch him twist every knot and brush every stroke here. So streaming, and I talk about this with other streamers, got to understand it. I say 75% of it is audio. People think, oh, they're going to watch you play the game. Now they're listening. You're doing something in the house, or they're listening. If they can. Some streamers that don't run filters, I just can't listen to in the house because, you know, every time one of their sound alerts comes up, I mean, you know, don't run a sound compressor or some kind of software to balance things. If you can't listen to them, you know, without waking up the whole neighborhood every 5 minutes, and then you can't hear it for the next 5, I have to turn them off, which is the situation with me here right now. I'm sure my audio is horrible and just not worth watching. And I get that. That's why I'm not going to worry as much about it. I'm streaming right now for proof of concept, but that's about it. I'm not going to get the VODs that I want, you know, out of this, for sure. Certainly not going to get the VODs that I want, that I was hoping for, when I had this grand idea of streaming the build so everybody could see me do it. No. All right, so here we go. Start to look like something here. It's pretty simple. I'm not going to tighten anything down yet, really. See if I can show you what we've done here. These pants are about done. That's for damn sure. Pockets are gone. So anyways, here.
So let me go ahead and change the cameras around here. Let's turn on the GoPro. Let's turn on the GoPro and turn off the auxiliary mic. And I'm going to go ahead and go over here and see if we got any sound. Oh wow, we're way behind. On YouTube, we're lagging by probably 2 to 3 minutes. Because right now, I'm just finishing putting the boat into the little racks there. Putting them into these things. Those are just stupid tools that I used to tack down to the top of my my work table, you know, for building boats. It holds the transom or whatever you need to do, you know. And if I need to, I can drive wedges in here to hold it nice and tight in shape. But yeah, you can see what's going on. You can start to get an idea where we're at with this, right? So this, we cut the pieces out and we did the scarf joints. These are 12-to-1 scarf joints. I don't know if you can see it, runs right there. 3 inches and 1/4 inch. See if the other side shows up any better. Yeah, you can almost maybe see the seam right there. Okay, so I scarfed it instead of using butt joints. And I got a video on that. With the event of epoxy, scarf joints are so much easier than butt joints. They take 5 minutes. I've actually got a VOD that I'm putting up. I did the scarf joint here and that one there on the bottom. All 3 of them in less than 15 minutes. If I was doing butt joints, I wouldn't even finish cutting out the butt joints and driving all the pilot holes for the staple nails and everything, and then I would have had another 1.5 hours of knocking the nails over after it dried after 6 hours. So you do this in 15 minutes with a belt sander. It's really easy. So what we've done is we put it all together, and now I've got this copper wire, and I'm just stitched it. You saw I drilled all my 3-inch holes. I drilled my holes at 3 inches. I drilled my holes all the way down the side of the boat here, and I went to 6 inches. And when I'm going, if I got a place that's bowing out or something, I need to drill another hole, I can just drill another hole. We're just going to stitch the bottom of the boat to here. I'm going to stitch it all up. I don't tighten anything up too much yet. Don't tighten it up too much. And this is what I'm talking about with the kids. If you're building this boat with kids, just go ahead and use zip ties instead of the wire. The wire's faster for me, but all these sharp edges, I mean, they will get you. They'll tear your clothes. They'll get you. You will get hit. But, you know, like I said, if you're not working with kids, or, you know, if your kids are teens and can deal with a poke in the finger without ruining their day, well, you can go ahead and use wire. I used 18 gauge here. I should have used 16 gauge. But the 18 is working fine for this boat, actually. On bigger boats, I'm going to use, you know, 12 or 14 even. So hopefully, you see, we're on the GoPro camera. Let me put this back on here. And I'll go shut off that other camera, that other sound over there, so we don't keep getting the double sound. And I apologize for not being able to, I don't have a mic, so it is what it is. Nice. Oh, I had everything going here. All right, so let me just see if anybody's commented yet. And let me check if I'm still live streaming. Am I still live streaming? Well, it says I am. Okay. So, anyways, I'm watching on Kick. I'm streaming to Kick and to YouTube right now.
I'm generally a Twitch streamer. I have been, but I was a fishing streamer, and I wanted to do crafts, and I took about a year off from the fishing, the IRL, and they forget you quick. Nobody knows who I am over there anyway, so I thought it was a good time to jump and just go, right? So, anyway, I've got the bottom piece that I scarfed. I showed you the scarf before. Same thing here. Little scarf joint, just bevel them both. There's a, let me get this over here. So, I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, but we're going to give it a shot. Usually, I would have the transom on and shaped like Raina style, but I don't have the numbers for that yet. So we'll just start stitching it together. This is what's really a classic Scrappy. No measurements, no nothing. And the reason for this, I mentioned before, is I had plans for this boat 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I retired from the boat business to come up and take care of Pop. Now I'm trying to get back into business. I can't find the plans. I found my numbers in my study sheets. So I'm basically redeveloping the plans as I go along here. I've got all the layouts and everything. I just got to tweak everything to make sure it's right. I'm making sure that the measurements are correct. So this piece sits up on top of these, right? Where these two pieces come together like this piece I want it to sit on top and go from there. Not that it really matters with the epoxy, but I want to make sure that, you know, there's a standard for the plans, right? So anyway, there you go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a few holes here down the sides. I'm not sure how many. I mean, it says I'm still streaming. Oh, you know what? Let me get number. Let me just put add. What do we got here? There we go. That's what I wanted to see out there. All right. And I've got 2 viewers. It says I could be me and myself and I though. If there's somebody there, just type a 1 in the chat. It says 2 viewers on Kick and 0 viewers on YouTube. Likewise, so I'm thinking about just restarting here. But no, I guess I don't need to. I'm kind of in the middle of it. Give it a few minutes because I know I'm several minutes behind. But again, we're stitching together this hull. I showed you before, there's no real carpentry here, just stitch it all together, all the pieces, and then we're going to glue it together. And so 1 viewer, okay. I got you. So if I restart, I'm not affecting anything. Is that viewer's going? I know it.
That's interesting. Kick counts me as a viewer, but YouTube doesn't. That's going. And okay. Alright, I see you. Alright, well, maybe we'll get somebody coming by after. If you stop by, say something in chat and we talk. Alright. This drill's about 20 years old. Let's see. Let me, yeah, the drill's like 20 years old, so the batteries don't work. I made a little VOD on one of my things when I replaced the cable here. It's, when you work with epoxy resin, it gets all over your cords, and that creates a hardening of the cord, and then it just breaks, you know, cracks the casing off it, so you gotta redo the cords every couple of years. So anyways, use the drill. Let's see. Test 1, 2, 3. 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 Yes. And make sure the GoPro camera is off. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's actually working pretty good. Sorry. So the GoPro camera is lighting it up, I guess. We'll go from there. How is this? Is this better? Let me know if in the chat if you can hear me or not. If there's anybody out there. Anybody. Let's go ahead and do that.
I've marked out 3-inch intervals down the sides here. And I already drilled the holes in the side of the boat. Yeah, gotta remember how I did this. I think it was just a case of getting really used to how to twist it to get it to work right. But I'm not gonna do that again. Probably gonna have to be pretty lucky. So we're just going to have to be a little, you know, a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to blow through some wire here, just because we've got to leave enough room to be able to work. But this is what we're doing. We're literally, if you see, what I'm doing here, I'm literally stitching this boat together, sewing it together with the wire. And again, this is all temporary. We're going to grind this wire off later after the boat is this fiberglass tape. Once we get all these wires in, then we'll tighten them all up and we'll shape the boat nice. Sorry, let me just see if anybody stopped by. No. Man, live, right? All right, there you go. Excuse me, how's that? How's that? All right, there we go. I can kind of hear it a little bit. Can you guys hear me? I don't think there's anybody here at all. And again, I shoot with all the starts and stops, probably got dozens of them. You know, since I started trying to get this stream going.
So like it says in the description, we're stitching together a hull. You can actually build yourself. This is probably the most difficult part of the whole build. And it's just because it's time consuming, you know. Well, okay, painting, grinding, sand, and all that shit is probably worse, but still. This is tedious. Tedious work, for sure. I'm sure I had a method for this back when I built it full time. For the life of me, I can't seem to remember it right now. But I know I had the boat up higher on a nice work table and everything, which helps intensely, right? So, let's see what we can do here. I'm bringing this boat a little bit into form. You're here, I'm just stitching this hull together, and once it's stitched together we'll turn it over and put the seats inside, and that'll hold the shape, and then we'll tape the whole thing together with fiberglass tape, and then we'll grind this off, this extra copper, or just cover it in epoxy because it won't rot and it doesn't rust. Won't hurt nothing in there. It's inert in the hull. But I got a pair of vice grips. They make a tool for this, but a pair of vice grips is the easiest. And I just have them set tight enough so they hold the wire but don't cut it, right? You know, break it. And then you grab the twisted end like this here, pull it out, line everything up, do your twisting. And I'll make this about 80 to 90%. And then we'll tighten it up a little bit more at the end. Like I said, if you're doing it with kids or even yourself, watch these ends, man. They'll get you. You can bend them over and get them out of the way. I will when I start working with the inside of the hull. I'll knock them off the outside. Otherwise, I'll be ripping shirts. in there. So I'll pull you off and let you see this a little bit, what we're doing. Sorry, Raina. Sorry, baby girl. You want to go in the house? I'll let you go in. I know it's not fun out here just sitting watching me. It's the blue pig. Oh my God. Woo! But anyways, this is what we've done, right? I haven't tightened these up yet because we'll straighten this out and then we'll tighten it all up before we'll tap it into place with the hammers. But you see I've got a little bit close here. I got these, see? Like I said, when we get it all stitched up, we'll tighten these up real nice. That stays good. That's all nice and fair. Right? If I have to put another one in here, I can put another one in there. Just drill the 2 holes toward each other, no problem, right? So that's what we're doing. We're going to do the other side, and we'll keep working our way down. Then we'll put the transom in. Once the transom is in, we'll flip it up. We'll put the seats in, and then we'll start taping the seams. And then we'll flip it back over upside down like this, and we'll grind all this extra copper off. And then we'll put fiberglass tape on the outside, and then you got a boat. It's literally as simple as that. Where did I just set? Sorry, guys. I mean, this whole stitching process, again, I've seen people use duct tape. You duct tape the outside, flip the boat, glue the inside, grind off the duct tape, and you know, do the same thing. Lay down your fiberglass on the outside. I guess there's lots of different ways. Of course, I just set down my my copper wire, and now I can't find it. So let's see if I can. This is nuts. I may just go ahead and use the zip ties. Because I got to get the back stabilized. What did I do? Where did I put it? Raina, what did I do here? I'm going to do a temporary tack down. With the transom. And we'll set it later. Just, again, you know, when I built full-time, I had specialized tables and clamps that held everything in place. One, I don't have all of them, and two, I want to show you all that, you know, you can do this, and, you know, you're not going to have those things, so. As much as I would love to, I got permanently banned on Twitter for, I guess, evading a lifetime ban or something. I said something bad about a politician. One that they were more friendly with than I was. And yeah, got me perma-banned. So I just tried to log in from a different server. Yeah, it ain't like that. So, you know what? I do this. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to figure something out here. Like I say, a lot of this is redoing the plans and kind of making sure that, making sure that I can reproduce them. It is warm out tonight. Let me see if anybody's watching or commenting. Nobody's watching. Nobody comments. So happen. Uh, well, hopefully we're still streaming. I have no idea at this point. This says we're still live. All right. Well, if not, maybe it's time for me to go inside and take a little break. But I kind of want to keep going here. So, all right. What the hell? What okay. Looks like it's coming back in a little bit. And it's back. Alright. Wonder how he's doing. I got my other guys here, my night cop and my NPC show. Anyways. No? Okay. Anything going on here? Okay. Yeah. Just, what are we looking at? We're looking at Wednesday night. So, anyways, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm seeing the chat over at Kick right now. So if there's anybody there, but I literally don't think I've had anybody watch the stream yet tonight, which I guess I kind of deserve after a month and a half of starts and stops and restarts and restreams and failed attempts. But it sucks. Oh, that sucks too. So, anyways. Right, doggy. Phew, okay. Alright guys, I gotta take a break. Go inside. Get some fluids and some food. And go back and look at this bod and see if there's anything usable.